Hello, my name is Jason from Instructional Design and Development. Today we're going to be learning how to organize your online content. Let's begin by imagining all the course materials that you have available for this particular course. As you can see, it's a little disorganized, and then there's just things everywhere. You have PowerPoints and Word documents and images and movies and everything else. It just gets to be very overwhelming. Imagine you're a student and you're trying to look for your syllabus here. It's next to impossible. What I'm going to introduce to you is something called SCORM Learning Modules. Okay, let's get back to our course. Here you can see all of the disorganized icons. Well, we're going to ask you for all of your material, so we're going to need all of that. The next thing we're going to need is all of your input. So we're going to have to talk to you, sit down with a one-on-one, get your thoughts, your inputs, and your teaching style in order to tailor this course for the way you teach in the classroom. Once we have that, we're going to be able to produce all the materials we need to create your course. And just like magic, here it is. Here we have your syllabus, which we have digitized for you, including any lessons that you may have. So here we're going to show you 2 of the lessons, but it can go on to as many or as few as you would like. So I know what you're asking. What was that thing that came out of the filing cabinet? Well, this, my friend, is a learning module. Learning modules contain everything that you need in order to teach the lesson that you have in mind. The first thing that you would need to do is set out your objectives. What do you hope for the student to learn in this particular lesson? Here you can also state a guide. What should the student look at first, second, and third? The next thing we have are reading assignments. Here you can list what pages of a textbook you would like the student to read. Also, any web links that you might have, any additional material that you have to supplement your lesson will be great for the student. Of course, the most important thing here is presenting your material. We have a couple of different options available. You could use a narrated PowerPoint like I'm using now, or you could use something called Live Classroom to meet with the students face-to-face over the internet. It's a very interesting concept. You can come by our offices to learn more about it. We also have something called Podcast. Here we receive rave reviews from students, faculty members, and even the administration. This allows you to record your voice for those lectures where presentations are not necessary. We also have movies. If you have a movie you would like to display online, as long as it's not copyrighted, we'd be able to do that as well. There's also the ever vital communication. This allows students and you to be able to communicate with one another. We include all the communication tools. And then another thing that we include are the assignments. Here, if you have multiple assignments, you can create those for the lesson and include those here in the learning module as well. Finally, we have the assessment. How effective was this learning module? Did the students set out to accomplish those objectives, or did they not? Let's discuss learning modules a little bit more. Learning modules are unique in that you can separate them off in different ways. For instance, you can do it by lessons, by weeks, or by concepts. Now, the way you decide to split it up is dependent on the way that you teach. Typically, I would suggest looking at your syllabus and finding out how you have the course set up there. Then we would go through and create these learning modules based on that syllabus. Congratulations for getting through this presentation. I'm just going to wrap things up by doing a very quick review. What we here at ID2 need is your course materials. And with that, we will give you your course. And inside of this, we have these things called learning modules. Learning modules can be divided up into different categories, like weeks. And inside each learning module, you'll find a variety of tools to get your point across to your students, such as objectives, reading assignments, links, presentations, podcasts, videos, communication tools, assignments, and assessments. Well, this is the end of my recorded PowerPoint lecture, but please come in. I also want to remind you that we license this out as Creative Commons. The icons that we used were from Paul Davy. He allowed us to use these icons because they were also Creative Commons. The one requirement, I must attribute those icons to him, so thank you, Paul.